He was looking to creep over to the right side for a one-timer. 6 of his goals this year are on the power play.
It's Kramer, Salkeld, Danella, Turgeon, and Price on the power play for the Bengals. As on the far boards, it's Turgeon with the puck, but he loses the control to Vitt, and Vitt will backhand the length of the ice. 45 seconds gone on the Buff State power play as Kramer has control behind his own net. Now he'll leave it for Salkeld. Salkeld gives to a swinging Zanella, and Zanella carries out towards center. Into the offensive zone. Drops at the top of the right circle for Turgeon. Turgeon sends out to the left point, intended to Cleaver just off the bench. He fumbled, and he's able to send it down to the near corner for Zanella. Zanella tried to center, lost it to Vitt. Vitt clears the length of the ice. 55 seconds to go on a Buff State power play. 11:45 to go in a scoreless first. Still no shots on this Bengal power play. As Cleaver out from behind his own net sends up the right wing boards for Whipple. Whipple dropped it back for Rossi in the neutral zone, and now he'll dump to the far corner of the Ice Knight zone and get there first. Hutchinson for the Ice Knights takes it away from Rossi, and he'll clear the length of the ice. Great defensive play in the far corner by Matt Hutchinson. Cleaver in his own zone retreats away from the forecheck of Anthorn. He'll camp out behind his own net, wait for his teammates to swing back, try to centering pass, a neutral zone pass for McGraw. That misconnected and sent back in by Hansen. Now Cleaver has control of his own blue line again, tried to dump it ahead. This one intended for Whipple, misfired again. Solomon sends it the length of the ice. 10 seconds until Siglarski returns. Cleaver behind his own net sends it the left wing boards for Shiro. Shiro tried to pass through the neutral zone for Whipple, turned it over to Solomon, and Solomon sends out to the neutral zone, and Siglarski returns. We're back to 5-on-5. Puck outside the Geneseo zone. Now Whipple has it for the Bengals. He'll dump down behind the Ice Knight net. Hampton gets there first and swings it around the right wing board. Stopped at the blue line by Standemir, and he'll send cross ice to the far wall for Brickler through the neutral zone. Into the far corner, delaying, working against Shiro. Shiro takes Brickler to the board. Standemir in to help. Tried to center it for Collins. That was picked off by Zanella. And Zanella sends up the left wing boards for Turgeon. He'll dump down behind the Ice Knight net. Horgan out of his crease to play it. Tried to swing around the far wall. That was knocked down by Zanella, but came right back to Solomon. Solomon sends up the left wing wall for Collins. Collins tried to go back behind the net for Solomon. That was read by Zanella. Horgan out of his crease, plays it to the right point, not out. Held in by Shiro. His shot towards the net, blocked down between the circles by Hansen. And he sends back out to the neutral zone for Collins. Collins was stood up at the red line by Shiro, but the loose puck came right to Hansen, and he'll dump down into the Buff State zone where Kramer controls with 10 minutes to go in a scoreless first period. Kramer behind the net, camps out, waits for his team to finish a change. Sharpie at the top of the Bengal crease, the only forecheck pressure, as Kramer now moves it halfway up the near wall for Shiro. He sends out to the neutral zone. That was intended for Salkeld. He was stood up by Sharpie, and the other way comes Soucy. Soucy's between the circles, wrist shot towards the net. And that's a glove save by Carr. He'll hold 9:45 to go in the first period. Still no score. Face-off coming to Carr's left.
You see how Nick Horgan can really be that third defenseman back there as Stephen Collins and Matt Solomon are throwing the puck back and forth, having trouble with that one forechecker. Horgan comes out and clears it himself. And then even look at Geneseo on the forecheck with one man, giving Buff State all kinds of problems. Buff State trying to stretch the ice, having a lot of problems with Geneseo's two forwards up high at the blue line.
Face-off is to Carr's right, as Soucy swings back to the left point stall. He'll dump behind the net looking for Sharpie. He couldn't get there. The puck swings around to the near half board where Anthorn has control. Soucy came in trying to help, but able to knock it away was Rivnik. And out to center comes first. He was knocked away by Stahl and dumped back into the Buff State zone. It's controlled by Lewis. He tried to pass the neutral zone. That was intended for Baldwin. It's too far for him and goes the length of the ice. As Caradon chases it down for icing with 9:23 to go now in the first. That is still scoreless, as it'll be the Carson Shell fourth line for the Ice Knights against the Jake Rosen fourth line for the Bengals.
Shot to 7-1 Geneseo. I think their legs look much better than they did last week in Oswego to the second half of that game.
Face-off came towards Carr, who came out of his crease and played to center, and that's going to be a 2-on-1 break, as moving ahead was Baldwin. Sent towards the front, intended for Burst, and Burst got a one-handed shot in on Horgan, who steered it away. In the process, he goes crashing into Horgan, as he was being dragged down from behind by Carson Shell, and I think the Bengals are headed to their second power play.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a hold on Carson Shell, I believe. As it was a really good play by Burst to even get a stick on it. He was kind of getting corralled by Carson Shell with one hand on the stick, was able to kind of fling it towards Nick Horgan, who actually made a nice save.
And Shell even getting back on Burst to make that play, as everyone was tangled up off the face-off that came right in on Carr, so Carr came out of his crease and flipped it to center himself, and that sent Baldwin and Burst away. As only the second shot for the Bengals, now they'll go to their second power play. No shots on the first power play attempt. As they'll start with McGraw, Burst, and Rossi. Cleaver on the point with Whipple. As the Bengals win it back to Cleaver, he'll walk the line. Sends one towards the net, through a screen, saved by Horgan. Now he'll roll back as he holds the puck to his chest. Excellent shot by Cleaver through a screen by Burst. And it only took 5 seconds for the Bengals to get a chance on this power play, and a pretty good one. Standemir, Vitt, Hutchinson, and Brown on the kill for the Ice Knights. Face-off coming to Horgan's right. As Standemir wins it back for Brown. Brown shoved it right back into the scrum of the face-off, but Standemir finds it and sends the length of the ice, where Carr will stop behind his own net for the swinging Cleaver. Cleaver up the left wing board for McGraw. Now he'll drop it back in the neutral zone for Cleaver once again. He enters the zone, and a delayed whistle as offside. Cleaver traveled parallel to the blue line before entering the zone, and that threw someone off. So the faceoff will come back out to center with 25 seconds gone on the Buff State power play.
Especially with 4 guys kind of waiting at the blue line to go in, as he goes parallel to the blue line. Throws at least one guy off. Buff State having some problems on their power play, just getting into Geneseo's zone.
Zanella out now for Buff State for the power play. He wins the draw back for Kramer. Kramer sends up the left wing boards for Turgeon. Turgeon in the offensive zone around Brown. Sends towards the front. Has Price shot towards it up. Saved by Horgan. It rolls behind him and just wide to the far corner. Zanella has control. Out to the right point. Kramer. Wrist shot through traffic. Glove save. Horgan will hold. An unbelievable save as Turgeon blew past Brown and found Price all alone in front. And like we've said the last 2 weeks, post to post to his left-hand side, no one's quicker than Nick Horgan.
Absolutely, like a cat. I mean, unbelievable. That's a great point. Price was wide open, and I mean,
so much
Horgan's back was almost 2 Prices. He spun around, went post to post, and made a great glove save.
Soucis wins the face-off to Horgan's left, sends it around the near board. Anthony gets there first and clears the length of the ice. 50 seconds gone on the Buff State power play. 8:20 to go, and it's still scoreless first. As carrying out to center is Zanella. Sends it the right wing wall for Kramer, who enters the Geneseo zone and dumps behind the Ice Knight net. Swings around to the near corner where Hampson picks it up and sends it the right wing boards. Not out as it's held in by Salkeld. Salkeld dumped it back into the near corner. Soucis had it for the Ice Knight. Sends to the right point. Not out. Held in by Kramer. Kramer behind the net. Price sent it front for Zanella. That was knocked down by Soucis. And away comes the center. Tried a lead pass to the neutral zone for Anthorn. Gloved down nicely by Salkeld. And he'll regroup in his own zone with Kramer. Kramer sent it to the neutral zone. No one there. It comes all the way to the Ice Knight blue line where Solomon controls. Puts it off the glass, and Salkeld's able to knock it down in his own blue line. Carries through center, and sends ahead for Zanella, who dumps behind the Ice Knight net. Out of his net, Horgan sends up the left wing board, and out to center with 20 seconds remaining on the Buff State power play. Cleaver has control, enters the zone. Wrist shot from a sharp angle. Saved by Horgan. The rebound came out between the circles. Knocked away nicely by Caradonna. McGraw has control for Buff State behind the net. McGraw tries to spin away from Caradonna. Tried to play it off the back of the net to himself. Turned it over to Stahl, and Stahl is able to force it just over the blue line and out to center. Cleaver chases it down for Buff State and dumps it back into the Ice Knight zone. It's along the near half wall. Whipple has it in the near corner now for Buff State as we're back to 5-on-5, but he's stripped by Caradonna, who carries out to center. Into the offensive zone, top of the right circle, set towards the slot looking for Shell. Puck was too far for him, but in the process, Shell took the stick out of the hands of Cleaver, so now Shell and Cleaver battling in the far corner. Shell the only one with a stick. Good defensive work by Cleaver, pressing against the back of Shell and forcing it to the wall. Now Brickler in to help. Brickler sends out to the left point. Stahl tried to move it across for Caradonna. Puck rolled over his stick and came out to center. Now he sends Brickler back into the offensive zone. His wrist shot from the top of the circle goes off the knob of the stick of Carr. Brickler has the rebound and sends it to the far corner for Standemir. Standemir walks over the top of the left faceoff dot. His shot towards the net. That's high and wide, and the rebound off the back wall ricochets all the way out to center and back into the Geneseo zone where Collins chases it down. Works behind his own net, now up the left wing board, takes a hit from Turgeon, but he's able to move it for Brickler. Now Brickler in his own end. Regroups with Hutchinson back at the top of the circle of his own zone. Stretch pass to the neutral zone. Standemir shot towards the net, hit the crossbar. And the loose puck came out to center. It's taken back by Balzan. Balzan at the top of the left circle tried to lead Turgeon between the circles, and that went wide and to the far corner where it's chased down by Balzan once again, working against Brown. 6 minutes to go in a scoreless first period here in Geneseo. Brickler has control and sends it the right wing board. Standemir tried to clear, not out, hit off the leg of Turgeon, came right back to Brown, and Brown sends out to the neutral zone for the Ice Knights, and Collins dumps down behind the Buff State zone where Hrivnik controls for the Bengals. The Ice Knights get a change as out comes the Siglarski line. Trying to carry ahead was Rossi into the Ice Knight zone. Siglarski's able to force him back to the neutral zone. Now Kramer has it for the Bengals. He'll dump it back behind the Ice Knight net, where Horgan, out of his net, will play it up the left wing boards. Ripple has control, and Ripple carries into the offensive zone. Joined by Vitt. Drops for Vitt. Top of the left circle. Backhand towards the net. Saved by Carr. The rebound came out to the near corner, but the whistle blows as in the process, Carr knocked the net off. So 5:15 to go in the first. Face-off will come to Carr's right.
What was that point you had about the net being knocked off before?
I played broom ball last night, and I played goalie, and I put the pegs in, and they seemed very sharp, and the net didn't move. I saw two
And
shots.
essentially you going post to post.
Well, that was unnecessary. Is that a size of my feet joke or a weight joke?
I was going to say speed, but...
Speed, aggressive play? Well, I saw two shots.
You stopped them both?
No.
Well.
I got scored on with 15 seconds left when we tied 1-1. I'm still not over it. Ice Knights win the draw at the left point. Hansen sent towards the net, knocked down between the circles by Shiro, unable to clear as it comes to the near half wall. Ripple has control, tried to center for Vitt, goes all the way through to the left point where Solomon sends behind the net for Siglarski once again. Siglarski tried to find Ripple. That pass misconnected. It comes up the near half boards where it's controlled by Hope for the Bengals. Hope sends to the Ice Knight blue line looking for Salkel. That was broken up by Solomon. The loose puck comes between the circles in the Ice Knight zone where Solomon tried to take a pass from Hansen, and that pass went over his stick. And in the process, Solomon's going to take a penalty. Whistle blows. Ice Knights